Everybody, it's Invicta. It's time for kind of a wacky Wednesday here on the channel. Today, as you can tell by the thumbnail, we are going to be playing as Tainted Eve. According to the YouTube Mosh Pit, it has been quite a while since we played her, and I figured, why not? It's been a lot of fun. Of course, you know it's going to be fun because we start with Sumptorium, and oh man, I'm looking forward to using that. Here's your meme of the day, brought to you by positive number 3586. Title of the thread was just simply episode 862. We can go to Old Hushy Shop. Skips all the shop, all 4 chests in both item rooms. And the comment was, from this powerhouse of a run today, I cried a little. Look, don't blame me. That is 100% Curse of the Lost fault. You can't blame me, or Curse of the Blind, I should say. You can't blame me for that. I mean, look, we tried so hard and we got so far, and in the end, it was just Curse of the Blind. Today is going to be 9 Golf November, 788 Golf Lima. So, Sumptorium. I love Sumptorium. Everyone knows that I love Sumptorium, and it functions a little bit different on Tainted Eve. As you can see right here, we're going over all the way down to a half heart. But also what you can do is you can take Sumptorium, and if you're playing as Tainted Eve, and you can actually use it against the enemies, or not against, I mean, obviously you're using it against enemies. What you can do is you can sort of like curb your, you can curb the usage of Sumptorium to a very great degree by simply recalling all your Claudies, and they turn back into the HP that you lost. So Tainted Eve really gets a lot of early support. Now with Brittle Bones is huge, because that is one of the problems with Tainted Eve, is the fact that her tears rate is just abysmal. Like, we're talking less than 2 attacks per second. So, and just think about like how many Bone Hearts we've already kind of consumed here, and we are just now at 2 attacks per second, right? Like, it's bad. It's bad, y'all. Now, something we don't want to do is we don't want to get too much here. We also cannot use Sumptorium right now because obviously I'm only on 1 HP. But I wanted to burn the skull hearts anyway, just because obviously, again, the bigger the we can't recall this, can we? Oh, we can. The more skulls, or the more Bone Hearts that we actually expend, the higher our tears rate's going to go, and that lasts for the remainder of this run. But one thing that we cannot do is we cannot use Sumptorium too aggressively, because Eve will die, especially here with an empty Bone Heart. This is going to activate the Whore of Babylon. And you see there, Tainted Eve looks freaking metal as all get out. I'm gonna recall Sumptorium here just in case. There you go. So we activated Whore of Babylon, as you just saw right there. Then she stays in this mode, or form, if you will, until like you're done with the boss. So, man, she looks so cool. Heavy metal. As we're getting rocking and rolling here, we're going to check in on last week's question of the episode, which is the decap attack episode. And quite on point. We simply asked, what was your take on decap? And a lot of people don't really enjoy decap. And I'm with you on that to a certain extent. I think the decap is pretty boring. There's just so many other active items that just kind of outclass it. But I will read the first couple of comments. Where are you guys going? From the question of the episode, the top most upvoted comment came in from Sea Dog, who said, "Head go burr." Yep. Anytime I see burr like thrown out there in comments, or like just in general, I think of like Joey B, Joe Burrow, as Joey Burt, you know. Yeah, but we're not talking about Joe Burrow. We're talking about decap attack. And also, can we talk about for a second how this dip still is not dead? It just does these little micro dodges. We also need to talk about, like, really quickly, how little red hearts we've seen. In fact, how none that we've seen so far in this run. And one thing I will say is that you don't normally really want to go after a Devil Deal on Tainted Eve. Her strength is built into the amount of HP she has, obviously because of her Sumptorium passive. But if you manage to eke it out, you can do quite a lot of work with a good Devil Deal build. However, I think that's safer just to go Angel Deals because you have potentially more HP. You can use your HP for Sumptorium. More Sumptoriums means higher damage, higher DPS, yada yada yada. Second most upvoted comment came in from I'm gonna say Rixium, who said, honestly, it's pretty forgettable in my opinion. Great golden chest right there. It's honestly pretty forgettable in my opinion. I take it if I don't already have another active item, but it's almost instantly replaced by the next thing I see. And yeah, that's basically what I was kind of just already mentioning. I don't think that decap is a game breaker, game changer. I'm tired. We need a little bit of help here. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking. All right. Well, I mean, we're playing as Tainted Eve here, not like some other scrub character. Tainted freaking Eve. Golden key anyway, so I like that. We can go into the shop. And I will buy the red heart. Bizzle. What a time for Dark Bum to show up. Okay, so Dark Bum. Now we are going to have to compete with D-Bizzle to get our red heart, so we got to be careful about that. Which is a little bit iffy. I am gonna blow up the donation machine and try to get some hearts, or just get a bunch of money. We could go get BOGO bombs, I guess, but right now, again, we're not really looking for HP necessarily. What we're gonna do is we're gonna turn into the Whore of Babylon, and then what we're going to do is we're gonna recall Sumptorium. Or it didn't activate? Question mark? We're going to recall everyone and just do it all over again. The only thing here with Tainted Eve is that you got to be careful. Her movement speed is not great. And the clown physics. Yeah, I think what we do is we just skip the Devil Deal here. I feel more comfortable going after Angel Deals. I mean, Angel Deals, they can ball out of control too, but again, it's mostly HP motivated. There we go. That's what we want. So we get Crack Jacks. It is going to give us HP upgrade. And look at that, we get Crack Crown as well. Yeah, I'm gonna reject Stanley. Let's go for broke here and go for the Angel Deals. And last but not least, going to the final comment of last week's episode for the decap question. We had Alec, who said, pretty solid item early on. As you go into the later floor, it loses value because of situations it can put you in during boss fights. And yeah, I mean, we saw that in that episode as well, where, it gets very jarring all of a sudden having basically like, total control over Isaac, and then it turns around and it's like, oh, wait. You just threw you threw the way that you shoot your tears across the room, and then like gets a little bit confusing, and then of course later bosses can get a little bit confusing. Really, it's disorienting, I guess is the best way. It's disorienting in a way that guillotine is. It's just not great. So thank you very much, everyone, for your input on that as we continue to build our Clotty gang. Clotty gang. We got to be careful here with the Bone Hearts. I don't think the game will kill us off of using just Sumptorium, but we're not gonna take that. Not gonna take that risk. We currently have a surplus of Red Heart Clotties right now, so what that does mean is that every time we recall and get more and more Red Hearts, the more passive Clotties that we can get. Therefore, we can maintain our HP while still also having a great time and building up our Clot army. So we get the Eraser here, which, I mean, I guess the Eraser would be worth 5 cents, but it ain't worth, like, digging for, I mean, I realize that, we don't have any active item right now, but do we really need one? To refresh our Clotties here. Clotties do have an expiration date in terms of their HP. They will still stick around, but they will, as you see that far left Clotty there, they will eventually expire to the point where they get hit by anything, they are dead. And what we really should try to do is try to get rid of these bone hearts as quickly as we can, so we can really cash in on that Tears upgrade from Brittle Bones. And it's going to be easier said than done, just by the way the placement of where they are. We're going to let it rip here and come down. Yeah, I mean, telekinesis is not terrible. It's the only problem with telekinesis here is that it's not going to help out our Claudies on the exterior portion of our position. Here we go. So, I mean, again, I guess we could try for one tap. I'm not doing any more than that. Not for the eraser. Okay, so the curse room represents a very easy way for us to shed our bone hearts. Of course, you do have a little bit of micromanagement with Sumptorium on Tainted Eve. Your eyes have to travel quite a fair bit. There we go. So I caught the projectile there. I used Sumptorium, accidentally used telekinesis. I guess it must have been that long for us to have played Tainted Eve before, because I am not used to seeing Sumptorium not on the spacebar item. We still need to go over into the store. We're going to right now. Now, as far as like a quote optimal way or meta way to play Tainted Eve, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say there's any wrong way to play her. It just comes down to whether or not how comfortable you are at operating at very, very low HP. The fact that, you know, you can essentially yeet yourself out of any run at any time if you're not paying attention to Sumptorium's consumption rate, it is a little bit dangerous to be going too ham. But at the same time, I mean, that's the whole point of the character, is you want to go ham. And unfortunately, we're not going to get any sort of HP upgrades from a horseman here. We essentially have to get rid of our bone hearts one at a time, because we're not going to be able to go to an empty heart here. So we're gonna slow our roll on this here. Now, obviously, having the Holy Mantle for boss fights is going to be greatly helpful. And yep, no angel deal there. No. Okay, so what we can do, since we have this half red heart, is we can go into the curse room and out. This will also preserve our Claudies that have not been reconverted into their heart form yet. What we don't want to do is we don't want to lose this bone heart. Okay, now we can lose the bone heart. Claudies, you guys stay there. I'm gonna go do my dangerous move here. There we go. Call that a pro move. And then what we could do is we could take the soul hearts. So we have gained maximum amount of we've gained maximum amount that we could possibly get from Brittle Bones. So we have the leftover red heart Claudies from having those bone hearts, and now we have massive amounts of help from our Tears rate thanks to Brittle Bones. In other words, we're in a really good spot right now. Having D-Bizzle is going to definitely help us out. And we don't have to fight for red hearts too hard anymore. Just based on the fact that we have, you know, we've got a good amount of... what we can't do is we cannot take damage. One thing I don't want to do as well is I don't want to lose any Soul Heart Claudies, because obviously it essentially counts as a hit. But this is good. It's very rare early on here to get a significant Tears upgrade on Tainted Eve. Significant to the point where, like, you know, it's going to be a big game changer in terms of DPS. And obviously that also helps out It also helps out the clots because now our tears rate goes up, their tears rate goes up, and everyone's happy. So I mean, we very briefly lost a red clot there. That is the downside of Tainted Eve is just that, you know, with the way that the clots work, you can't necessarily bank on you not losing a few. The whole idea, a great item room there. The whole idea of surrounding the strategy of Tainted Eve is simply the fact of keeping your clots alive and maintaining surplus. And really, I think that's the best keyword to describe the Tainted Eve experience is surplus. You got a surplus of damage, surplus of HP. That she operates off of all of that. So noticing how we're maintaining clots despite recalling them, like we're not losing really anything. Was that Tinted Rock? That was a Tinted Rock. There was another Tinted Rock over here. We're putting Tinted Rocks everywhere. So we get ourselves another good soul heart, and we do that to boost our angel deal chance to essentially 100%. But you know what they say, if it ain't 100, it ain't hunted. And especially for Sinvicta luck and Isaac VS RNG, who knows? We got to be careful trying to... Fistula is actually not a super great matchup for Tainted Eve just because of just how many moving parts there are. It's impossible to keep your clots safe. It's not necessarily dangerous for Tainted Eve, but you can inadvertently lose a lot of HP if you're not careful. We get another HP upgrade, that's fine, honestly. Unironically fine. We get Purity as well. Of course, Purity is going to operate off of an aura system. Depending on which aura we have, you see that Isaac is kind of glowing in a orange / yellowish hue right now. That is the range upgrade version of what Purity can offer. Now, obviously, if we end up getting the blue aura, which of course is the most desirable one in my opinion, which is the Tears upgrade, which has absolutely no limit in terms of the Tears cap. That's what we want, and then we're just happy. So, in a way, we kind of have to. That Claudia took a hit, so we kind of have to take damage in order to gain any kind of value out of Purity. So it looks like we rolled to the range upgrade again. Neat. And now we have the speed upgrade. All right. There's two other. The pure yellow one is the movement speed upgrade. There's a red one, which is damage. And also, that's the second most valuable, in my opinion. Purity aura, and then finally we have the blue one, which of course that was one I just got to talking about, which is quite simply just the Tears upgrade, and that's what you want. D-Bizzle. Dark Bomb's like, what am I even doing here? Look, D-Bizzle, you know, sometimes it's just not your game. It ain't your fault, but you're a little bit of an anti-synergy here. Now what is nice is us having Cracked Crown as well, and giving us a nice little stat booster. Every time we gain a stat, we get more stats, essentially, for what it's worth. Until we drop it. I don't like this at all. Too many champions. I don't know what the hell this knight's doing, but he's running literally over all of our clots. Hey, you know what? I'm tired of you. D-Bizzle finally getting some hearts here. No. Now, there is a Tinted Rock in this room. I'll let you pause the video for a moment. There is a Tinted Rock in this room. See if you can spot it. You can spot it. Gonna go into the item room. We're probably not gonna make boss rush, but also take Robo Baby. The Tinted Rock is right here. You like the little fake out there? So if you go back and look at that, you could very, very faintly see the X that was being hidden by that other rock in front of it. The game loves to do that. So you got to be really, really keen-eyed. There we go. The Steam sale here. It's great. Good, good. Over here. Shop. Take it. We'll take that. We'll take that. This feels like the way to the boss, though, so I'm going to keep going this way. It was just gas. There we go. We can actually put some money back in our donation machine here. As I was saying, like, the other day, I think it was yesterday, it feels like a real accomplishment being able to just put money back so soon. And doing it in about a month and a half or so, whatever the count was I don't know. It's like it's been a while since we've been able to feel a sort of sense of accomplishment other than like an Omega run in Isaac. So it don't mean much. I mean, it's just the donation machine, and we've been lower than $6 before, but it still feels good, you know, because after that unfortunate incident with the reset on the donation machine, it's like, hey, you know what? We overcame. We gave ourselves an objective, and we managed to just thrive off of it. Dark Monk's gonna be so mad. Look, D Bizzle, I was gonna let you have that, and then, you know, just somehow, sometimes not the way the mop flops. Here you go. You can take this one. See, that's why we don't give you nice things. Again, we get ourselves a solid Tears upgrade. Too many projectiles in here for me to feel comfortable with our Claudies. We don't mind losing the extra ones. We don't want to lose the good ones. I mean, they're all good, obviously, but still. I don't know what it is lately. We can't seem to sidestep. Not doing a phenomenal job at sidestepping spikes lately. I think I'm curving a little bit too much to the side. That's causing me to inadvertently like walk a little bit too far to the left. It's amazing that we didn't take damage there. Now, one thing that I will say that looks, and this is something that occasionally comes up whenever I play Tainted Eve, is the way that the quote damage from Sumptorium works. It does not give you iframes, so you cannot strategically try to plan out when it's going to proc for you. In the hopes of avoiding damage. Our item rooms have been let's just say they've been not great. But that's where, you know, having something as amazing as Sumptorium as a passive can overcome the horribleness of really, really bad item rooms. I don't think I've ever seen this room before, but I really don't like it. Clutch use there by telekinesis. The reason why I recalled all those Claudies is because we had those leapers. Those fat Isaac leapers that were giving us some issues there. Now, we do still have enough money for a premium item in the store, which is definitely something I want. But you're seeing this sort of volley quality now of our Claudies. I don't know why only partial. I'm not sure why only part of the Clots decided to join in there. Super secret room is going to be here, and yep. If anything, we can go finish depositing stuff into our item room. The Soul of Maggie is going to give us the ability to have her or hug passive, basically giving us red hearts or half red heart every time we kill an enemy. That is something that you can kind of sort of parlay into Debizzle for a synergy. Almost impossible to see the shadows right now. Gonna wait for that one soul heart to go away, then we can pick this one up. So we're technically kind of overcapped in a weird way on soul hearts. Dude, I'm real tired of these fat Isaacs jumping on us. Again, it doesn't help that we cannot see the shadows when they go up. There's our Fool card. So as you can see, we're kind of coming up a little bit on a pressing issue here. I'd rather have the Fool card. And that's going to be our damage. Our actual raw damage. We have gotten 0 damage upgrades so far. And we are at the halfway point of this run. And I don't know if you know this or not, but damage is kind of important. I guess some Thorium only goes towards the cap of a full rack of HP. Yeah, we get a Greed Fight. Terrific. Yeah, this is just super greed and it's taking forever. So, yeah. We're going to need to find some solution here. That was a great side trip, by the way, to go look for that. Go look for that shop. Thank God we looked for that shop. Might be a dono machine in here, or maybe a claw machine. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, now we're cooking. You give me the D-Twizzle and I'm happy. One tap and we get the D12, baby. Game Kit as well, which I don't really care about. And then Nightlight, which I absolutely don't care about. But oh mama, now we're cooking here with the D12. D12 has proven this year especially to be one of the more elite items in the game for spacebar items. And I think I have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt how good the D12 actually is. It's an item that a lot of people and myself have slept on for years, not really realizing just how absolutely incredibly goated it is. Get another tiers upgrade here. So yeah, we're gonna definitely stick with the D12. And let's use some Thorium now. Then let's be on our way. Unfortunately, the Clots love to... Well, it's not really the Clots' fault. They get started right in the middle, or right on one of the edges of the room where Isaac is not. So it's pretty neat. Yeah, that's Isaac for you right there. Simply trying to line up and get our Clots in one position, which again, not our fault. The game, for whatever reason, loves to take all your followers and just put them in the door that you came in on instead of where Isaac is. And I interpret that as an effort to weaken the player as much as possible. Yeah, we'll take the negative. And Circle of Protection. That's just super duper awesome. It's really, I mean, at least like if we have a kind of telekinesis, but Angel Deal is kind of bummed me out, not gonna lie. And Curse the Blind. All right. Okay, good. Maybe this is the right way to go. Nope. Okay. Go ahead and use the D12 in here just to get us kicked off. I heard something get destroyed by fire. So if you don't know what the D12 does, by the way, the D12 will re-roll all rocks in the room into random rocks. Barrels. It can also roll into tinted rocks. It can roll into all kinds of great stuff. It does not re-roll locks though. No, it does re-roll locks. Take that back. Well, look at this. We get the unicorn poop, which is going to give us a full heal as well. And just like that, our Cloddy army is built back up to good levels. Wow, another Tears upgrade at random. And another dead end. All right. How does he do it? How does he do it? All right. There we go. Go back to the start. Maybe with the north side will be the way to go. I decided to go with the negative just because, I mean, it's definitely not the best play here, but we need raw damage. Any raw damage. Two of diamonds literally is just totally useless for us. I was enjoying a little bit the protection that we get from telekinesis. Ooh, we definitely want an Eternal Heart. We don't want to burn the Eternal Heart though, as in like we don't want to use it for bodies before like the end of the level. So we have to make sure that we recall that back. Like it's going to turn, it's very difficult to see, but he's right there. That white clot, that is an Eternal Clot. And if you lose that, you lose the Eternal Heart. You don't want to lose that. There we go. Get a movement speed upgrade. Fine with that. And let's recall Eternal Heart. There we go. Now, the kind of surprising / crappy thing out of all of this is the simple fact that we have not had any, and I mean any tears up, or not, sorry, tears up, any damage ups except for the negative, which is a really telling sign of just how bad this run would have been had we not been Tainted Eve. We still, by the way, have not gotten the blue aura, so that's pretty awesome. And this is just a run that is purely fueled by the power of Sumptorium. I mean, like seriously, we have not had a damage upgrade in this entire run. Sumptorium obviously shines whenever you have high damage, high tiers. But obviously the game would be a little bit boring if you just got like, you know, massive amounts of damage and massive amount of tiers every single run. But we'd like to see something here. Right now we're not seeing anything. Not seeing a whole lot. So we re-rolled those 2 rocks into the same exact rocks, and then turn a couple of them into fires, demon fires. D-Biz will take the wheel. Go ahead and use the soul heart first. Then we'll take the black heart. There we go. I think that overall we've been doing a pretty adequate job at keeping our Cloddies alive. Despite how many of them we have. Obviously, the more that you get, the harder it's going to be, even when they're clumped up, to keep them alive. It's safe, anyway. I think there was a tinted rock in that last room. I got to go back and look. Where was that shot? Oh, my God. That host was drunk, man. Oh, yeah. Tinted rock right there. You know what? We can use D12 here. D12 giving us up kiss. And we don't have to worry about the spikes actually dealing damage to the clots. They just kind of get jostled around, as you're seeing here. And that's not a bad room in order for us to use the D12. And one thing that we do have to be careful of is using the D12 and then destroying our clots in the process. Like running them into fires or stuff. Go over here and let's take the clotties down this corner. We'll use the D12 and... Yep. Yep. All right. That was a nice snipe there by RoboBaby 2.0. Look at that. We have so many excessive clotties that even with soul hearts, we still can't use all of them. No devil deal or angel deal. All right. And no damage upgrades. I tell you what. I'm very happy that we took the negative, because had I known that this was going to be a damage upgradeless run, I would have just gone straight for the what's this going to lower our damage by quite a lot, actually. Yeah, we don't need the Blessed Penny. We've got this on lockdown, I think. We did get the blue aura, as you see right here, so, and there it goes. All right. All right. There we go. Neato mosquito. Hey, we got the tears up again. There we go. There we go. Nah, D-Bizzle. D-Bizzle, we got this. So we do have the blue aura, as you see, and this is the most desirable aura, in my opinion, because Purity does not listen to the tears cap. It doesn't matter what your tears cap is at. It just doesn't care. So it's an excellent way to raise your DPS while also not having to worry too much about something like a tears cap or anything like that. And of course, it also synergizes with basically anything and everything that you want. Yeah, look how many clots we have left over here. We got another soul heart. Not gonna bother going for the bomb because we can cover most of the screen. We do want to have like a sort of like a laser beam shot where it's all centralized and focused here. Stanley is going to have a little bit of a clown physics fit. Again, we want to make sure that we keep the Eternal Heart on our persons before we go to the next level. There we go. And hopefully we can get some kind of, just any kind of damage upgrade or tear effect or anything. This has been brutal. We do finally get damage in Guppy's paw. Sulfur is going to be pretty huge as well. So what we want to do is we want to use all of our red hearts. Guppy's paw is completely useless here. We're not going to turn into Guppy. But sulfur is real good. So we do finally get a damage upgrade here thanks to the mark. And then we want to wait until we're 2 hearts down. And then we're going to take sulfur. Kind of seal the deal here. So Hermit card, don't screw us up again. Yeah. And that's why, right there, the reason why we take sulfur. The Sumptorium, it can't be topped. Now you do continue to burn hearts, despite having brimstone. Because we had that fear. I don't know where the fear came from, but Magic Fingers is not what we're looking for here. And you got to make sure that you keep your Clotties safe. They will get destroyed by brimstone. But even just that little bit of damage that we get from the mark, remember we also have the Cracked Crown booster, which is going to just continue to give us more value on any damage upgrades or any stat upgrades in general that we've got. So little increments of damage here and there that we can get an upgrade for, it leads to bigger and better things. So we're absolutely going to smash this run here, thanks in all parts to two little Clotties and Sumptorium, obviously. Yeah, we're just embarrassing the game now. I mean, look how many extra clots we have. Even with the Soul Heart clots, like we're still just winning. And it's just a classic example of just how strong not only Tainted Eve is, but also Sumptorium is. Like, I don't think anyone really needed to have, like, any refresher or anything on that, but, like, yeah. Yeah, so thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Shout out to the member of the Mosh Pit. I'm sorry I didn't remember your name, the one who's been asking for a Tainted Eve run for a little while now. It was a lot of fun. I love me some Tainted Eve, and I love me some Sumptorium. For your question of the episode today is going to be, what are your thoughts on Tainted Eve? Have you ever gone a little bit too far down the Sumptorium rabbit hole and kind of offed yourself? Do you go for Whore of Babylon? Tell me your strats down below. Remember, the top 3 most upvoted comments get read on next week's episode. And thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. As always, I will see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Like thanks to patrons of mine like Riley Schaefer, Fred, and Kotoryu. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find over at patreon.com/Sinvicta.